Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, taking a look at race number 7 at Gulfstream Park on Saturday. It's the 6-furlong Glitter Woman Stakes, and it kicks off the 50-cent Pick 5. You can play that wager with a DRF Bets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com, receive a 300% deposit match. Here's the field for the Glitter Woman. 3-year-old fillies again going 6 furlongs. And Matt, the number 1 Brunette Princess really looked good last time out at Gulfstream after being the beaten favorite in her first 2 starts at Gulfstream West. Timeform US really liked that performance. A 91 pace-adjusted rating. She's got speed down towards the inside.
Yeah, and I think the buyers even back that up a little bit as well, because the 2nd and 3rd place finishers, who were 3.5 lengths and almost 4 lengths behind the winner that day, they came back and earned 62 and 60 buyers in their next start. So I think that 66 sort of checks out. I guess my concern in a spot like this, you brought up that she's got some speed down on the inside. I think there are faster horses from the gate to her outside, and I do wonder if, even if she's sent out of there by Johnny V, I don't know that she's naturally as fast as those to the outside, and at that point, does she end up getting boxed in a little bit? I suppose it could work out one of 2 ways. It's either a beautiful trip where you sit the pocket, or you get boxed in, she gets a little bit rank. We'll find out. I just wish she was drawn a little bit better than the rail.
That's a very fair point. I am extremely concerned about this inside post position because I agree with you, and Timeform US agrees as we throw up the pace projector that she's not as fast out of the gate, and they do have her in the pocket after the first quarter mile, which means something's going to have to open up for her, but it was a really nice win last time out. Timeform US has the 3 Fancy Dress Party out there on the lead. Now, Fancy Dress Party earned a rock-solid 73 buyer last time out. Timeform US wasn't as kind, giving her an 87. It's worth noting that while she's undefeated, she has yet to set foot on fast going.
Yeah, and that's got to be a little bit of, I don't want to call it a concern, but it's an unknown at this point. Just simply, can she transfer that form over to the fast main strip? Who knows? Maybe she's even better on a fast track as opposed to a sloppy one. We don't know yet. We'll find out, hopefully, fingers crossed, on Saturday. I like the fact that she is as versatile as she is through 2 lifetime starts. She's done it at 2 different racetracks. She's sat off of it. She's been up there pushing the pace. To me, this is an instance where Luis Saez plays the brake. If nobody else wants to go, you know you can go on with it, and she's not going to have a problem. If somebody towards your outside, or even the filly drawn just to the inside, I don't even know how you want to pronounce that, mirror, if they want to go on with it, you are very content sitting just off. I think in many ways she works out an ideal trip, Fancy Dress Party. It's just, I'm going to be interested to see how she transitions over to her fast main track.
Agree with you about the tactics. I think Luis breaks. I think he looks down towards the inside. If Brunette Princess is intent and Johnny V wants to hustle out of there, great. If Murr, the number 2, wants to go out there, great. Fancy Dress Party has shown the ability, as you mentioned, to sit and finish. She's got a nice pedigree. She's a full sister to a stakes-winning sprinter named Will Munnings, and she cost a pretty penny for a Munnings, a $280,000 Keeneland September yearling. Down to the inside, let's talk about that Murr, who won 2 starts back at Gulfstream West, and last time out in the house party, pressed the pace and tired. Was it simply a situation that she just can't hang with stakes horses right now because her buyers are really light?
Yeah, the figs are very light, and you go back to that win at Gulfstream West, the fields come back very weak. I do feel like it's just a matter of right now she's not quite up to this level. Perhaps down the road she can develop, but I also look at the pedigree. It's a little bit on the modest side. I just think she's up against it.
Midtown Rose is the only 3-time winner in this field. You can argue she got a really advantageous post position, right to the outside, because she has speed, but I think she can sit a little bit. She won last time out when she was down towards the rail, and she was sent right on through by her apprentice jock, pushed a couple of 2 other horses, opened up, and then won by 8 lengths under a full-out drive. Still not completely convinced, though, she steps up for the first time, but her figs are very solid.
Yeah, you know, I feel like this is one of those instances where she's done enough to warrant the opportunity to face better horses. I don't know if she's ready for this. From a buyer standpoint, she has the highest last out buyer in the field with a 73. From the raw time form number, highest last out figure with an 89. I suppose the interesting thing to me is from that outside draw, like you say, she's going to work out the best trip in there. I just don't know if she's run against this, let's say, good enough company to have her ready to go for a spot like this.
Let's talk about the 7, Paula Andrea. What happened last time out? She was bet down to 11-10 in that house party stakes, and she just didn't fire at all. It's nice to see that Jose Ortiz takes them out. Is it a situation where this barn's just snake bit right now?
Well, but I mean, it's hard to look at it otherwise and say 1 for 60. We know Antonio Sano's a good trainer, but right now, I don't know what you want to do with that. It's worth noting 18 times 2nd or 3rd, so maybe they're just a little bit up against it. I thought that the thing that's more interesting to me about Paula Andrea, The most recent run, you're right, she was bet down like she was supposed to be something. Without that run 2 starts back, what has she done? She's just not that fast on paper. So if you like her, you are really banking on that run 2 starts back being indicative of what she is. And you also can't help but notice that came at a different track. Her other 3 starts here at Gulfstream, less than stellar. She's the kind of horse that I just don't really have much interest in.
Horologist won her career debut by 20 3/4 lengths, but she only earned a 63 Beyer speed figure that day. She was stakes placed last time out in the house party, although she was beaten double digits. To me, while it's still early and it's too early to write off any of these newly turned 3-year-old fillies, she just hasn't gotten much faster than the summer of her 2-year-old campaign. Maybe she moves forward in the second start of the form cycle. I'd like to see them get back to being aggressive with her coming out of the gate.
Well, I think that's something else that needs to be factored in, that only win was the career debut where she was out there dictating things. And ever since, whether she's just been out foot early on or they've been content taking back a little bit, I know she had a little bit of a bump at the most recent start. You just kind of get that feeling, or at least I do at this point, that she's dependent on the lead. I'd like to see him be aggressive. I don't know if it's going to work, but to be honest, I think it's her best chance to win in a race like this.
Formulator fact for the 5, Love My Honey, for trainer Michael Maker. Past 5 years, 3-year-old dirt sprinters for a barn best known for turf routing. Off a 45 to 60 day layoff, 23% winners, 2.5 ROI. I believe this horse has the goods. I mean, listen, she was a Saratoga debut winner. And then after that race, they threw her to the wolves. She was 4-1 against Serengeti Empress in the Grade 2 Pocahontas. People thought a lot of her, and Serengeti Empress just ran off the screen that day. Last time out was kind of, I thought, an odd spot. They turned her all the way back to 6th. They ran her in a little stakes race at Laurel, and she just missed the break completely. I draw a line through that race. If she runs anything back to the debut or improves slightly, she's a main contender.
That's how I'm looking at her. To be honest, I'm drawing a line through each of the past 2
That's
starts.
Right.
You brought up the stumble in that Laurel race. She basically went down to her nose and then almost dumped the rider on top of that. So draw a line through that. The Pocahontas, she was actually relatively close that day when Serengeti Empress just basically dropped the hammer on the entire field and spread eagled them. So I don't know that I want to hold that against her going 2 turns either. You go back to that run up at Saratoga. I think if she runs that, she's at least in there with a puncher's chance. And like you had said, if she moves forward even slightly, I think she's got a big chance in here. And I can't help but think it's a positive that Maker is willing to throw her right back into a spot like this. I think she's got a big chance.
Geltrin completes the field, never off the board from 3 starts, never higher than 3-1 on the tote. You see she's 15-1 on the morning line. She's another filly that brings some speed to the party. She's just not fast yet.
Slow on paper, running style I think works against her in here. I think this is probably too tough.
Let's take a look at our picks. You mentioned you liked Love My Honey and all the reasons why. Give us your underneath horses.
Yeah, 5-3-8-1, and to be honest, it'd probably be more so just kind of a cold punch 5-3.
I'm going to go with Fancy Dress Party. I am worried that Timeform US didn't love that last race from a speed figure standpoint, but I really think this filly's looked good. She just kind of churns along once she makes the lead. She's very professional for a lightly raced 3-year-old. I don't like her morning line price of 9-5, but I'm going to go 3, 8, 1, and 6 in the Glitter Woman. Race number 7 kicks off the 50-cent pick 5. Bet it with a DRF Bets account and the 300% deposit match that goes along with it. Learn more at bets.drf.com. Approximate post time for the Glitter Woman, 3:08 Eastern. Good luck.